Okay, what would I recommend for a home cinema? Preferably JBL. Why? Because they're used for Jedi and their blasters and the lightsabers. Hence the name, word, logo, JBL. James Boulevard Lansing, and they were the first to be selected for the Vice movie talkies back in the 1920s. Okay, know your history, okay? You know, clips, nothing wrong with that. JBL did it first. And they were also selected for Thomas Holman's experimental THX for the Jedi. That makes sense, you know, the Return of the Jedi. Yep, JBL, yep, it makes sense. Logical sense. Now, you can get all this stuff cheap on eBay. It's not a big deal. You just have to know what to look for. As an ex-cinema projectionist, glad I've been there, done it. Yeah, happy days they were, but no longer anymore. And, we've got to move on, sort of thing, you know. It's all water under the bridge. Equipment, if you want it looking razzy, then you have to go for some, if you want some of that cinematic flashback, go for some, nice, delightful Sony SDDS D3000s. Oh, highly recommended. I mean, if you got cheap money, like cheap, highly recommended. I would be supremely impressed if someone had some of these in their home cinema setup. And yeah, look, the Denon flagship. Well, so they say, but somehow I don't think it's gonna last as long as my CP200 down there. Now that is the creme de la creme. That is the Rolls Royce. You would only see one of those in a cinema, period. A 70mm cinema. Well, preferably, maybe it might have a bit of digital, but, you know, you never know. There's all new JBL speakers going up behind the screen. That's going to be about nearly up to 107.5 inches, and they're all JBL 4645 series boxes, so they'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 70mm Todd AO 70mm, yep, or SDDS5. How many home cinemas are running 5 screen? Not many. At the present, JBL Control 12SR modified with JBL 2206 bass driver, which would be about there. The HF horn 2371 is up there, and the boxes on the 12SR are only about roughly there to about there. There's only a tiny little fraction difference in the width between the 12-inch. You can't see them because you need a bright light up close, and then the camera up close, and you can just see the foggy transparency just through the screen. The Denon flagship, not bad. For 14 channels with a little bit of ingenuity of matrix expansion too, because like anything that's stereo surround overhead, anything that has that stereo sound image is going to have a center phantom, and there may be a little Easter egg in it, which I use for the blow surround JBL Control ones. I started off with a load of an array of these years ago, and I still got them. And because the idea to get surround in a cinema is to have the speakers going down all along the side wall, all along the back wall, and that is hence surround. That's how you get the proper signature sort of effect, like maybe like the Hass effect or Roger Rabbit running around the auditorium, and it's just an illusion, but boy oh boy does it sound like it's going from speaker to speaker. But now, you know, JBL 8330 surrounds, and they're cheap. They're cheap. A hell of a lot of these on eBay today. I'll bundle, but they're very heavy. The JBL 8330As, they're plastic boxes. They're lightweight. They're THX approved. So, you know, if George Lucas gives it that, and you know, and they're pretty good, and they handle well for the overhead surround. Oh my, oh my, oh my! 9 of them on the ceiling. I wouldn't have done that even on my own. I had to get help to get them installed up, and there's only 2 bolts that are going into the ceiling, and yep, sound. And there are 3 of them. That's what I call a dog channel, which is the center, middle, or like Dolby, yeah, over, head, guard. Like Auro's got VOG. Dolby Atmos doesn't have a VOG. Well, now it does. So eat your heart out, Auro 3D. Oh gosh. There's more JBL back here. There's some more 8330, and they're going to go up on the wall over there. There's a centre middle back. The back surrounds. I'd preferably prefer to have 6 of them go in the back of the wall. Not impossible, and that means that they'll be literally, virtually coupled side by side by side. Yeah, and the sound image would sound a lot different. JBL 4645 C down there, a JBL 4645 DIY that I've made was a friend years ago, back probably around about 1997, and it's still running. JBL 4640, a JBL 46 82 behind the screen there, a TCB triple chamber band pass. And the other one is right at the back of the room, down there. It's very hard to see. Each of the extra channels for the Atmos channels, there's like which is below on the floor, which gives it a tendency to have a sort of vertical surround image, kind of like a circle or maybe an up and down sort of effect. But it is definitely big step game changer up over the standard Atmos. I'll be buggered if I'm just going to be stuck with just a normal AVR and just use its internal amplifiers. Don't use the internal amplifiers, just go literally with the RCA phono or the balanced outputs if it's a Marantz, because then you've got a lot more that you can play with, and it's going to sound awesome. And the room is literally tiled out. Floor, it's obviously got a carpet on it, carpet tiles, and then literally wedge foam tiles right around the walls, and the ceiling covered, literally. My cat magic. 21,000 kilowatts on tap, and usually that's used for a large premiere size cinema. You know, not even a small boothless cinema. Not even most small cinemas I've been to or even worked at wouldn't even be running 21,000 kilowatts. But that's just for headroom, as anyone would know. That's just for headroom and plus experimentation. So there's all the height channels up there for height number, or rather the dog channels. Woof woof! Dog 1, dog 2, dog 3, extra 1, extra 2, extra 3, reserve channels there. They're all turned off at the moment because I'm not running Atmos today. Well, I was, but I threw Tom Cruise in the cat litter box, as you can watch in another video. These are the HF horns: left, center, right, HF center, left surround 1, 2 and 3, right surround 1, 2 and 3, center middle back surround. These are the stereo height surrounds. Height 1 left to right, height 2 left to right. Let's turn my height 3 up. Yeah, let's turn that up. Yeah, there's my height 3, and there's my stereo rear back surrounds. And then there's the decoders 1, 2 and 3. A simple, cheaper fish and chips, a Dolby SA10 or the Dolby CP45. Basically that is a CP45 that's just been simply stripped down, and just a little bit of teeny little electrical modification. Yeah, wow, like big deal, like you can see there, like the other pots for the EQ, low, mid and high. Yeah, and these would have been the left, center, right front channels. You know how a PL works, very simple. DCX running the surrounds up here, so the surrounds left on there, surround right on there, and obviously channel C would be not, because there is higher surround there. That's up the front part of the wall, that's down at the middle, and that's down at the back part of the wall, side wall. Front side wall on the right, middle side wall on the right, and right at the back. And then yeah, I've gone through that, so practically I'm decoding up to about 12 channels for the overheads. Woo wee. These are for the bass shakers. Some Elacius. Oh yeah, they're a Behringer EPQ304s. They're quad amplifiers. Whoosh, down. And yeah, the infamous hello city, infamous iNuke Behringer 3000. Wow, how do they put 3 kilowatts into a... I'm sure it's bogus, but hey, if it works, I ain't gonna knock it. You know, if it's just a little bit shy of the, you know, if you stick it on a multimeter and all that, but if it's a little bit shy, then so what? It's still affordable. And then there's the Behringer NX3000. Everyone started saying, "Oh wow, Behringer, you made them black." Well, hasn't anyone heard of spray paint? You know, you can customize, you know, spray the rest of this black so this blends in with this. Because I haven't got a problem with the design of it. I think the design looks okay. Hey, damn, it's lightweight, it's easy to pick up, it's easy to rack mount. That heavy. Those are a little bit heavy, even though they're a little bit thin. They're only 1 rack Q frame, and these are 2 rack Q frame. That's obviously for the center channel, the center channel, the below surround channel. Now, how many Atmos home cinemas are running below surround now? Hardly any. Yep. Left center, right center bass channels, left and right front bass channels, and the other sub channel. Oh yeah, that's the sub channel as well for the TCB subs. One for the front, one for the back, and the JBL 4645 subs left and right. And oh my, it's complete with George Lucas Limited, Lucasfilm Limited THX sound system. Yeah. How many home cinemas have got one of those? Because all I hear is all people talking about THX, like, yeah, like, yeah, like at parties and all that, and all you got is the consumer version with the plastic badge. Look at that badge. God, blimey, I've got one there and I've got one down here. You know, they're growing like, you know, they're growing. And there's also a lot of other equipment. Cinema processors. Laserdisc, 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 and Laserdisc. Cat Sooty, Cat Magic, a kitchen, 21,000 kilowatts, more than the microwave puts out. But it's not about how many you use and what, it's how much ampage you're pulling. If I was pulling all these, pushing them all, yeah, the meter, the electric meter is going tick, 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 tick. I can have this on all day, idly. It's not pulling a lot. Bloody hell. Cinemas are dead. I've been there, I've done it, worked in them. UCI, Warner Brothers, they were happy days, but those days are gone now, and those days are really going, because now it's because of this worldwide phenomena. I think cinema is now, kaput. So, yeah. Enjoy the movies of the past, because they're a lot better than some of the rubbish they're making since the last bloody 10 years, 20 years. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and lastly, yeah, real cinema seats. And, you can get real cinema seats on eBay really cheap, and they look the part. No if, no buts, no vote, no debate about it. They don't take up as much bloody floor space than home theatre seats, which sadly they're starting to get in cinemas, and really I feel sick as a parrot when I sit in one, because it doesn't feel like a blimmin' cinema. It seems like I'm at home. Well, what's the point of going to a cinema now? They use the same technology now as the home cinema has. Home cinema was using video projectors for quite a number of years, and then suddenly it starts slipping into the cinema. I tell you, I could see the eyes rolling on Sir David Lean. I could really see his eyes rolling. I quote this: "Cinema is original, television isn't." Sir David Lean, when he was doing the restoration for Lawrence of Arabia, for all you fans out there that didn't know that. Or probably didn't see that documentary and when doing the restoration, and then he was kind of surprised that, what, you're doing a restoring of it? I didn't know about that. And then he got more involved on it then. Classic film. Anyway, projection port window at the back. The port window's down there, which is basically a glass picture frame. I don't know why I've taken it down. I think I was experimenting with an anamorphic cinema lens, but it takes a little bit more than just putting an anamorphic cinema lens up. It's really stripping it down and putting the optic up there, and you can get cinema anamorphic lenses really cheaper than all these home theatre stuff. In the long run, this has taken years to put together. And the price, the price is like what I tell everyone: none of your goddamn business. But it's a lot damn cheaper than most home theatres. The room, I really couldn't care how it looks with the aesthetics, as long as the walls are treated, the ceiling's treated, and there's no blooming slap echo in the room. That's as good as it's going to be. And the rest is then just simply down to you got to tune the speakers for the room, you got to tune EQ them, go through. It might take a few weeks to sort of tune it all up, because it ain't certainly going to happen with an automatic EQ. And if I used Odyssey on that, I won't be able to use any other trickery to matrix the signal, because then everything is skewed up. Equalization is done afterwards, not ahead of what you got to, say, expand the channel. Otherwise, the phase, the frequency would be all over the bloody place, and the sound would be terrible. And trying to get stereo width at the back here, at the back row, that takes trial and error, tuning, listening, know what to look for, what to listen for, what to feel for. And as an ex-projectionist, I know what to look for, I know what to listen for, I know what to feel for. So anything from dialogue pans and, you know, where you get sound imaging center there, and it might have a slight, what's called a half pan slightly over to this way. That would be kind of like between the center and the left channel, but with some wizardry down here. I can put it into I can put that sound so it will go there, or when it pans and moves, it's just like 5-screen, it's just like SDDS. Wow. It sounds great with Logan's Run, or Gravity is by far the best. And I said it, last decade, I don't think any Star Wars Disney movie would equal Gravity before the end of the decade. And boy, was I right. I was spot on again. And I was spot on when Gravity won Best Sound, because when I heard the trailer on YouTube before the film was even released in the cinemas, I'm saying, my goodness, is that dialogue panning I'm hearing? Because hardly any director or re-recording mixers use dialogue panning, particularly when it's directional and it's going across, it's moving across the screen channels into the surrounds, and it's like, wow, it sounds like the performers are in the room, and it doesn't sound like that wooden fucking dialogue in the fucking center channel like a fucking TV show. God's sakes. Oh, anyway, that's my scoop. Oh, almost. And then there's bass shakers underneath. And there's the below matrix surround. One there, one at that seat back there. I can put some more below and do a few more experimentations. Enough microphones to sink a battleship if I wanted the multiplex or multiplex microphone, the whole system. That's easily done through the multiplex microphones through a basic 4-channel audio mixer, or I can go to the other mixer that I've got in the kitchen, go up to as much as 12 microphones if I want to, and I could get the sound like that you could only possibly dream about in your dreams. That's if you eat, live, breathe, sleep sound like I do. When I'm sleeping, I'm thinking it. You gotta be out there, dedicated, on the edge. That's where it keeps me. And I always see, you know, some home theatres, oh, and please, for God's sakes, do not stick your centre channel on the floor. Keep it in line with all the rest of the speakers, and keep all the speakers primarily matched. You can have mismatchings, you know, but it just takes listening, observing, engineering, EQ tuning it to get the sound or the frequency range and the characteristic of it almost to similarly match the screen channel similarly, but it's not going to be in an exact signature. Otherwise you'd be using the same boxes, and even if you are using the same boxes, you got to listen to the tonal characteristics of what's going on with the bass, with the pink noise, with the crossover slope, and the same with the HF. If you're going to use freeway speakers, oh goodness gracious, oh, your work is going to really be tough. It's really tough with freeway surrounds, and then it's easy with two-way screen channel, two-way screen channel speakers. I'm surprised I can get dynamic range, and I suppose it's almost like the sound of a large cinema, but in a smaller space. And yes, I think that's just about it for the quick, fast rant. Oh yeah, the DCX crossovers. Your home cinema is definitely not complete without a DSP crossover system, particularly for your stream channels, where you can adjust, modify. Because I could put the microphone up, disconnect the mid-range to high range, check the bass range out, look at its frequency characteristic, and then guess that, yeah, that's probably a 12 dB filter, or I think that'd be second order, like in the Star Wars, because they had the first order, which would have been a first order crossover, and then you got the Resistance, which is a resistor. What the fuck was I watching? Oh, goodness gracious, Disney Star Wars in the cat litter box. Good riddance. Originals only. Da 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 da. Punch, da 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 da. Yeah, that's how you fucking do a fucking Star Wars, not that Disney crap, crying out loud. Oh yeah, and the other, see, CP45s down there. They use from my surrounds. They're like a preamp and a bit of an equalizer as well in there, and the matrix decoding, so I can have my below surround and have the airplanes in unbroken. Some of them going along the side, some of them overhead, and some that makes me look below. And I'm thinking, well, that's a lot better than what Dolby lads are dishing out, and you lot are eating it up. But, there's only so much a matrix decoder can say, well, I think this signal's going this way, sort of thing, you know? If there was true below discrete surround for home theatre, it would be, I would say, thus complete. Because there is nowhere else more than you can go from, you know. Speakers, where are they placed? Statically on the walls and behind the screen. And please, goodness gracious, don't stick your speakers in front of a screen, for crying out loud. What? Buy them ugly. Buy ugly speakers with guts that can handle the bass range and all that. And here comes the kicker, right? You can make the speakers sound like a crappy speaker if you want with the crossover system. I could tune them to sound like very tiny. That's the brilliance of having a big speaker, making it sound big, or I can make it sound very small. And I usually sit in this seat because, like I say, I know what to look for, I know what to listen for, and you'd think I'd be sitting in the front and centre middle seat, wouldn't you? Sometimes I would allow my cat there, because you know why? My cats have got a frequency range from about 40 to about 90,000 kilohertz, so they got more hearing octave above humans. That doesn't mean they cannot feel below 40. Yeah, cats are and dogs are yeah, I believe pigeons, I think they can hear down to very infrasonic sort of frequency. And then of course you got the bats, and their range is probably 1 kilohertz up to about 100,000 kilohertz, you know. And so you could pretty much creep around in a bat fucking cave wearing soft fucking shoes like Ninja, and those bats ain't gonna fucking hear you. As long as you don't make too much noise that's gonna be over 1 kilohertz, and then the fuckers wake up, don't they? Bats. I love bats. And oh yeah, I think just keep your home cinema simple, because if I was doing a Star Wars theme or a Star Trek theme in this room, I think, what, someone's going to think I'm playing that sort of fucking shit all the fucking time. This is kind of neutral. So, you know, I'm pretty biased sometimes. I mean, some crap fucking Tom Cruise movie and Atmos up mix, and it doesn't cut the mustard with a bloody single bloody height channel, and I'm thinking, good almighty, God almighty, garbage. I know where the sound is coming from on the mix. What did they take out of this mix with the stems, that is, you know, that make up the sound effects, the dialogue, the music, thousands of tracks that sound mixers brag about. We bust our asses for months. Oh, and then they do a fucking goddamn remix and then turn it into utter garbage. I think I'll play War of the Worlds on DVD Region 2 because I don't think I can stomach listening to the fucking 4K Atmos, which is thrown back there now. I don't think I can stomach it. Oh, I couldn't care less about the 4K image. I can still see that grainy and that dreamy cinematography look in the bloody Gino Jamansky cinematography, and I can't say no. I'd have to say I'm not a fan of his cinematography. I don't like his cinematography. Oh God, I don't like Saving Private Ryan cinematography and that jerky bloody. You know, is that shit necessary? I can watch a lot of classic World War II movies or Where Eagles Dare, and I'm not seeing all that fucking jittery fucking like, what the fuck is this? You think there's something wrong with the fucking... You play that at the fucking cinema and then, you know, you... Fucking hell, is there something wrong with the fucking projector's fucking intermittent sprocket or something? What the fuck's going on? And then you realise it's the fucking way they filmed it. Fucking hell. God almighty. Just because cameras back then might have had that sort of, you know, if you're doing it like... But really, that's not how you saw the war would have been grim, nasty, with fucking disease and God knows how much. You know, that's what war is. And it's a very ugly, ugly, ugly business. You know, but really, I'd rather watch some classic movies. You know, Saving Private Ryan, I think they can keep the 4K Atmos because after listening to some of the horrors of Skywalker sound and how they're remixing now is just god-awful. It's like they had their day of stardom and Oscar glory. It's time now they buzz off and just leave it to some other new talent that can do some dog bollocks Dolby Atmos mixes and know what to do with that technology, or encoding to decoding the signals and extracting the sound away from the side surrounds, the fronts, and then placing it up on the ceiling, but using it at certain points artistically where but sometimes it's not always. Rain is the most problematic sound element to create a proper illusion, because where does rain sound mostly? On the floor. If I didn't have a ceiling above me, if I was outside, it's going to land on the ground, because gravity rules. It would land on leaves, the feathers of a bird that may be hundreds and hundreds of feet above before you even hear the sound of the rain. That is, when it starts to fall, it's probably bird's going to fly and it's going to land, and just like we are sensitive, and you could get a drop of water and pip, pip, you can hear it on your head, can't you? You'd probably hear it on your head first before you start noticing it landing on the ground when you're walking, because your footsteps are making a noise floor level frequency, and until it starts really, after many seconds, it's been raining, then you start more noticing it at ground level. Oh yeah, you notice it in the trees. You know why? Because it makes that sound, that and when you're standing back away from trees from a certain distance, you know what? It sounds like it's overhead, but it's not. It's just because it's landing on the tree branches, the leaves, and any other bloody object. Sound of rain in thin air is virtually... Exactly. I rest my case. Enjoy your fucking home theatres. Whatever floats your boat. There it is. There it is. Like I say, whatever helps, whenever it helps people, I'm happy to share it. Bon voyage.